Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir SilentGods video. In today's video, I will be talking about how you approach the Grave of Venom and how to basically, improve and start farming better gear from this one. Because, well, this is the first dungeon that we open that gives us actual gear. Okay, so most of us just start and do stage 1 and then we go to stage 2. Let me just show it behind over here. So we start stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, where we mostly get the rare gear. We get to the point where you can buy lots of this gear from merchants just by advancing through the story. So at the point of this recording, it's day number like 8, I think, but what I'll be showing you should be possible to be done on day 7 of a new server, or maybe even day 8, and that is unlocking the possibility of getting the epic gear. Why do I say possibility? Well, the higher you get, the higher the chances of dropping gear itself. However, you do get yourself the materials to forge the epic gear. Up until you get to day 7, you do not have, if you go over and check in the camp, you do not have the forge unlocked to be able to get the option of forging epic gear. So keep that in mind. That's why I kind of wanted to emphasize on the moment, and where you get that material, obviously all of those things that you would get, you go over here and you have to get this hammer. Okay, so you get the hammer, which I obviously already got, but you have a button to click it. So for example, for stage 4, I just go like this and shows us, where is it? Okay, it's over there. Well, the hammer that unlocks you the possibility of forging epic gear is going to be in this area. Okay, as soon as you unlock the Ghostland headland and you're going to do the stuff in here, in this area you're going to find the hammer, and that's going to unlock you doing the dungeon. Now let's jump and have a look at what team I want to show you guys. Well, I'm trying as always to show you as relevant stuff as possible because, well, I do have a pretty good account. I do have a pretty stacked account, and that is the account that, I've been playing since the beta. So you're gonna see over here that I have lots of legendaries, I have epics, I have a ton of stuff in there, okay? But the team that I'm gonna try and use, and the team that I always try to show you guys, is the most free-to-play friendly, the most, achievable teams, the most relatable ones in order to do that. Because, again, if I go over here and show you, well, I can farm stage 6, okay, with my legendaries. However, like I said, today I'm going to show you the team that I use for stage 4 because this is really important. This is the first one where you start unlocking epic gear, and this one's going to be good because, it gives you more stats, it gives you higher stats, so it obviously will unlock all of your builds. As soon as you start pushing this, you only need to beat it like, I don't know, 5 to 10 times early on, and after that, you're going to start using that gear, and it's just going to be easier and easier to keep progressing. But let's have a look at the run that I actually did with this team. So the team that I used was Horus, which everybody gets as a free epic. Then I used Hexandra as, again, free healer. Then I used my Adventurer as Frost, okay? Because in this dungeon, you need some specific things to cover. You take a lot of damage from here, okay? You take lots of damage, you take a debuff, the decreased defense from the side egg, and you basically need lots of tankiness and support. So the easiest way to fight this fight is just to have one tank, 3 healers slash support, or like 2 healers slash support. The Adventurer has Frost because he brings you some damage and survivability with his shields, and then another champion that brings you decreased attack. So for example, I'm using Horus. He has the base attack on his battle skill, but if you have somebody that's better, like if you have a Frurbath, you're obviously going to use Frurbath, or whoever else you have that brings you more. If you have somebody that brings you decreased attack but also brings lots of damage, use them. At the same time, I have the rare here, Sigrid, which I have already used in the fight that I showed earlier on my channel, fighting the mermaid, Elisebre, or however you read that. I used her because she had a good kit for that, but at the same time, she brings the big version of decreased attack on her ultimate, and you really need that against this boss. Most of the time, you're not going to be able to keep decreased attack with just one person, so try to get 2 people that have decreased attack in there. And then mostly just survive it. You see, just try to survive. And I also want to show you, after this one finishes, the importance of also having people grouped together, especially if you're using you know, people like Hexandra, the Adventurer, or even like, for example, here, my last hero is Aquarion, that again does some healing, he provides some healing on his battle skills, and he provides a little bit of increased defense, but honestly, that doesn't change much, because most of the time we don't get hit as much while the increased defense is out, and yeah, that can be any other healer, okay? So your second healer can be anybody else, even Anna, but with Anna, you might need a little bit of extra push or a little bit of extra stats. I'm going to show you the stats that I have on my people as well after this one finished, but yeah, you're gonna see that stage 4, it looks pretty decent, it looks pretty okay, it looks pretty reliable, and you know what, even if you're gonna be failing, if you see that, you know, you maybe get some bad RNG, you don't land something at the right time, you get some resist, keep in mind you do not lose stamina, okay? So you do not lose stamina while doing a fight, so even if you just have to keep clicking it several times, you know, maybe you win 1 out of 2, okay? So maybe you do 10 fights and you only manage to win 5 of them, it does not matter because you do not lose the stamina. But yeah, like you see, at the end my Quarion actually died, and I still managed to beat it. And it was pretty fast, considering I have only supports, it was pretty fast. It was what, 2 minutes and 36. Even if it goes all the way, guys, even if it goes up to the 5 minutes, again, does not matter. You just need to beat it a few times so that you can start getting, like you see, let me go back to the end again. You see that I got myself the materials to forge epic gear, and then you're getting lots of rare gear, which you might still be using. So let's jump in and have a look at the positioning, and this is really important. There's always going to be different tactics that you will adapt depending on your roster, okay? But for example, for this team that I used over here, I noticed that the easiest way to keep everything work together, I tested with Anna, so that's why she was in there, but the easiest way is to keep the people together, because first of all, if you look at the Adventurer, his ultimate skill, see, he has that 3 squares, and then towards the end he has 1 extra spot where he will land that shield. Well, if you look at this, Horus goes till here, okay? So we have, this is the initial square that will affect, and then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, the ends of that square that gets covered by his shield. So having them put like this, it means everybody's going to be affected by his shield. Then when it comes to Hexandra's heal, same principle, it has the same range, so having them all grouped up like this, it helps you out because everybody's going to be affected by the heal. Then your tank honestly doesn't really matter. You definitely want to keep him there because he's going to go straight forward. You don't want them to be at the side. It can be complicated, but again, it depends on who you have, like what other people you have, what you know, range they have. Because for example, I tried before to have them split up like this, because when the boss does her this skill, what is it? Let me see. This one over here, see, it has a massive range, kind of like our damage. So if you try to have a split towards the corners, you might not get hit. However, well, the thing that I noticed is they run forward. So she was placed here, she would run over here, and then when the boss would do a hit, she would still get hit. Same principle with my other healer. So I said, you know what, let me keep them grouped together. The healing is gonna happen for everyone, the shielding is gonna happen with everyone, and that's really important. You definitely want to keep that in mind because you're trying to benefit as much as possible. And yeah, don't be afraid to test stuff. Put them at the back, move them to the side, go a little bit higher, you know, see what works for you and your heroes, okay? But yeah, the whole principle, like I said, is you need a 2 healers, you need a tank, then decrease attack, and the adventure is the easiest one, and this is honestly the most free-to-play thing that I've seen. If you see that you cannot do it as easily, do not be afraid to use the consumable, guys. These ones are massive. So you might be really close to beating it, but you're not quite there. Well, just go and see what you have and use, for example, something like this. Consumable that gives you 10% extra max HP. Or there might be this one that gives you, you know, with some accuracy if you need more accuracy, or attack and accuracy. So see what you need. If you see that you survive but don't kill it too fast, give yourself more attack. If you see that you do not survive but you're, you know, right on the edge, just give yourself more HP. Definitely take advantage of these consumables. They're extremely important, and they, you know, they can help you pass some hurdles. And also at the same time, since we're talking about this side, you see the aura. Make sure you select your best aura. So for me in this case, obviously my best aura is going to be Horus's HP aura in dungeons. That's going to keep us alive, okay? Because extra HP means a lot. Now let's have a look at the build and the levels they have on people. So first things first, because he's the most important one, as I mentioned, for most people that started playing early and don't have many, you know, epics, didn't pull too much stuff and have limited option, is the adventurer. Okay, so what that is for the adventurer was he's level 90. Okay, I did not upgrade him yet because this is going to require a little bit of farming, but he is level 90. He has the quiver artifact, which everybody gets for free. I just leveled it up to level 9. That's about it. I'm trying to make it as relatable as possible. Then I do have I do have the attack sets on him with attack. So basically give him as much attack as possible because his shields scale off of his attack, okay? Then also gave him a rare positive rune, which helps me with barely anything. Like, okay, the substat help, but the crit damage, I guess, not really, because we're not going to crit. Whatever you have in there to give you some extra stats, make sure you do that. Then if we move over to Horus, he's the other one that I have at 90, and I kind of suggest you do that. The most important ones will always be your adventurer, your tank, and your main healer. These three ones are going to be the core for most dungeon teams. Obviously, if we're talking about the goblin, you're going to need just smash, you know, all DPS. However, if you're talking about a good core for other dungeons, you 100% need tank, healer, and adventurer, and then, you know, the last spot you flex depending on the mechanics of the dungeons. So for him, I do have him again with rare positive rune, because this one you unlock after you give him the possibility, after you go over level 70s. Then he has HP defense percent chest, defense percent gloves, and then, you know, just completed an attack and rage and guardian set, and that's about it. And then I also gave him this artifact, which honestly, this 93 defense and 16% HP, I don't think it changes much. I'm quite sure I can take it off and he would still be able to do it. This is basically like using a consumable that gives you some more HP, okay? So this one's not much of a change, but having him be tanky is really important because he's gonna survive a lot. I did not scroll him up though, because I'm not sure how much I'm gonna use him on my account because I have so many other options, but for you guys, the most important one that I feel like you need to scroll on is the passive. This one's huge. It gives you more shield and a higher chance to proc, and basically he's gonna keep himself alive a ton more, and the more HP you give him, the better. So yeah, so that's Horus. Then if we move over to Claudia, which is one of my first healers, again, he's not upgraded, he's just level 70. Then what I have on him is, again, a guardian and the rage set. See, again, HP attack on this one, for example, which helps us with nothing. HP percent, I just completed sets, and for your healers, you just want to keep them alive. So, you know, give them HP percent, defense percent, so they just don't get killed in one shot, so they can keep doing their healings, because at least for Quarion, there's nothing that boosts his healing. It's all about targets max HP, targets max HP. Then if we move over to Hexandra, she has a little bit of a bonus on her battle skill, where she heals more. She heals based off of her attack and enlightenment, but you're not gonna just pump her with attack, because then she's gonna be too squishy and she's going to die. And yeah, she's again level 70, she's not upgraded, and she has same principle, a rare guardian set and a rare what's it called, I keep trying to call them attack, rage set. So a rare rage set and a rare guardian set with, again, whatever subset I had to make her kept alive. No artifact, and then the last one was Sigrid, which was another rare artifact that I gave her at level 8, which, again, you don't really need it. I just had it lying around, so I threw it on her. But the reason why I used her is because she brings me the decreased attack, as I mentioned, okay? And honestly, the reason why I wanted to use her specifically, I actually went first in the fight with my Yola. Okay, Yola, level 86, she's amazing. I just love Yola. She does AoE decrease attack, chance to silence and stuff like that. But then I was like, you know what, let me try and test the rare. And I already had Sigrid built, which, like I said, I used her for the fight against Elisebre, or however you say that name again. And she actually proved to be good. Like, she kept that decreased attack for quite a good time, and I guess she's not going to be your endgame viable option for this dungeon. However, the fact that she brings heal prohibition on the ultimate and battle skill makes her viable for other fights. As I mentioned in the previous video, she's going to be good for the Grave of Wrath, where you need heal prohibition, and she can be good for the heretical ruins as well, where the boss heals if you don't kill the side minions as well. So I chose to use her, and again, she's level 70, she's not upgraded, so you know, I hope this is pretty relatable to you guys, because I think, you know, having 2 90s and 3 level 70s shouldn't be as bad, and by the time you try to push to that stage, you should be able to get there. You already have that unlocked, and, you know, if you're only using rares, then, you know, you should push your rares to the maximum. I'm gonna try and do later on, once we get to the point where you actually can do it, a team that's, again, maybe using the same heroes that can do stage 7. Obviously, everything that you see here, you can just scale up for the next level, depending on what you see that's happening. You might be dying too fast. That means you need to give them more HP or more levels or whatnot. So, you know, hope this helps you guys. And one last quick tip at the end. There's a nice button over here that says lineup recommendation. If you click that, well, you can see what people used, okay? Every single stage is showed what people use. Like, you can see that there are people that already do stage 9, okay? That's mind-blowing. But obviously they have full awakened, full inspired, legendary, so yeah, definitely makes it easy. However, if you're stuck, like for example here, you look at this and you're like, okay, I don't have those ones, I don't have any legendary. Click this button and it's gonna give you options. See, so this is kind of same principle almost as I said, mostly healers, support, decrease attack. This one's basically my team. This one's basically almost my team. So yeah, this should help you guys. I hope this is gonna make it easy for you to farm the Grave of Venom, because it's the most important dungeon early on, as it gives you a lot of good gear. The gear from the Grave of Venom you can use on everyone, and it's gonna benefit them in one way or another. But yeah, this was a little bit of a longer one. However, I think it's a really important guide that you guys needed to get and receive the information specifically to be able to do this. So yeah, I'm blabbering now, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you do enjoy my content, as always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.